Hi, I am going to talk about Shamanic Reiki today. So if you've ever heard of that or you would like to know more, then please stay listening. My name is Faye from FayeJohnstone.com, and I am a Reiki master and a shamanic practitioner. And actually, it's really brilliant to combine the wonderful nurturing aspect of the Reiki energy with the deep, connective, and really intuitive nudge of spirit that you get from shamanic work. So I'm going to explain today what they both are and how they work together, and 5 differences really that you will get from a Reiki treatment versus a shamanic Reiki treatment. So Reiki is a form of healing from Japan, which is a hands-on healing. So the practitioner puts their hands on the client, and this universal life energy, so prana or chi, flows through the practitioner to the client for their highest good. And you can only receive Reiki from a Reiki master because there is an attunement process where each practitioner is attuned to Reiki energy, and that enables the energy to flow through the practitioner. So that's Reiki. And shamanism, on the other hand, is a very ancient form of spirituality. And I think generally we tend to think of shamanism, we will think of indigenous people in the Amazon, in Latin America, or maybe in Siberia or Africa, who are beating a drum or taking psychoactive plants to connect with the spirit world. But actually, yes, that is exactly what a shamanic practitioner does. But certainly the way I work is I will use a drum or a rattle to connect to my spirit guides. And there, what I'm doing is I'm walking with a foot in both worlds. I'm in this reality with my client, and I'm diving into the dream time. I'm diving into the spirit world to connect with my helping spirits and guides, or ancestral spirits, power animals, the trees, the plants, the rain, the earth, for guidance, for wisdom, for information to bring back into this world to help the client. So the strength really of shamanic work relies on that relationship that the practitioner has with their spirit guides. And the belief in shamanism is that everything has spirit. There is spirit in everything. So the shamanic work is very earth-based, it's very nature-based, because we find our spirit guides in plants, in trees, in rocks, and the rivers, and so forth. Now, I find that Reiki and shamanism actually go very well together, because Reiki, when I put my hands on a client, there's generally a feeling of wonderful relaxation and nurturing and support that comes from that connection with the Reiki energy, and that can really help the client get into a space where they feel safe and comfortable, where they can access their place of knowing and their connection with that sort of stillness inside. And that's where we receive our answers, and that also opens our hearts up for healing and for transformation. And the shamanic work combined with Reiki just helps the Reiki treatment go a bit deeper. It helps, we're really opening ourselves up to that nudge from spirit. We're asking spirit, help us, my client's here. What needs to be healed? What needs to happen in order for this client to feel better? And so we're alive, and we're ready for it. And this is one of the reasons. So why the treatments actually will take longer than, I'd say, a standard Reiki session is probably about an hour. But when you start to work with shamanic Reiki, you're working for about 90 minutes, because there's a lot of conversation going backwards and forwards with the client. So the first point, though, is before a session, there will be some work on the practitioner's part to check in with the spirit guides to really see what issues might be coming up in a session, what might need healing, and what also whether or not the practitioner is the right person to do that work. So that will generally happen before a session. So when the client comes, there will already been some work that the practitioner will have done. Now, obviously, when we do Reiki, we do spend some time connecting in, making the space sacred. But what I'm saying is, with the shamanic Reiki, generally the practitioner will have done a journey with their spirit guides. They'll have checked in beforehand, so they will have spent longer in that sort of connecting in with that client before the treatment happens. And it may be that the nudge from spirit is, no, this isn't the right piece of work to do. You're not the right person to do it. So in which case, we wouldn't, you wouldn't go ahead with any shamanic work. You just have have a Reiki treatment. So yes, as I've mentioned, sessions are longer because they are actually very interactive, and there will be a lot of talk. Often the clients will be led into a guided meditation or visualization from the practitioner. And don't just think you can kind of turn up and lie down on the couch and just receive, because that is what happens when you come to a Reiki treatment. I always say to people, oh, it's your chance to just receive, just come, lie down. And generally, you know, everybody manages. Sometimes people will fall asleep because they'll be so relaxed just receiving a lovely, nurturing Reiki treatment. Shamanic Reiki is much more interactive, like I've said before, and it really is, it's for you if you're ready for a change, if you've got to that stage where you know what, like, I don't really understand what this is, but this keeps happening to me, or I keep having this feeling, or I just feel stuck, or I just feel depressed, I can't get off the couch, and this is, I can't go on like this anymore. So we generally come and we have lots of time we might have a Reiki treatment because it's a very restorative treatment for us. But the Shamanic Reiki treatment takes it to the next level. It says, you know what, I need to make some changes. Spirit, help me out here. So don't expect to lie back and receive. There will be some of that. There's always a bit of hands-on Reiki when you come for a Shamanic Reiki session, because it helps you relax and it helps integrate the healing at the end. But there will be interaction. You have to give feedback to the practitioner about how you're feeling, what you're sensing, things like this, so that the practitioner can lead the session and connect and receive the guidance that they need to receive. So the other thing, let me just think. So the other thing is that for a Reiki treatment, you'll just have the practitioner, some nice music, maybe a candle, maybe some incense or some smudge, and the practitioner's hands. But when you start working with Shamanic Reiki, things get a bit more interesting. This is one of my tools. This is one of my rattles. This is something that I use to call in my spirit guides and helpers and set the space. I also use a drum, which you've probably seen me use before. And there's many other things. I sometimes will use my voice. I'll start singing. These are ways that I commune with my spirit guides, and you just never know who's going to show up to help you with the work. So that makes sessions more exciting and certainly a lot noisier than a Reiki treatment. So the other point I wanted to make is after the sessions are longer and they are more interactive, and also what happens a lot of the time is there'll be a lot of there'll be feedback, there'll be guidance from the spirit world to help the client integrate what the energetic shifts that we're working on in the treatment. So it's really, this integration piece is really important, and that I find is not often really included in a Reiki treatment. Often someone comes to have Reiki, they'll receive a lovely treatment. They might pull a card at the end, or the practitioner might have received a few insights and a few messages that are for the client. But what happens generally for a shamanic treatment is that those messages and are much more in depth, and the guidance will sometimes be that the client, for example, has to do a particular ritual. They might have to write a letter, they might have to work with some stones and throw them in the river, they might have to bury something in the garden, they might have to go and sit with a tree. There's often, if you like, a bit of follow-up. I'm not going to call it homework, I'm just going to call it guidance to help you integrate the treatment. So from that respect, it's a bit more intense and hands-on than a Reiki treatment would be. So that's just to give you an idea. There's really similar principles for Reiki and shamanism. They work very well together. They both work through the practitioner and are spirit-led. So it's not the practitioner really guiding the session. We're there to hold the space, but it's the guidance from spirit and whoever shows up to do the work that dictates the session. It's certainly not us when we're doing it. And they really work. They're fueled by the intention that is held by the practitioner and the client, and also really from the heart. That's what it's all about. It's for the heart, and it's for your highest good. So if you like the sound of that, then you can find out more at fayejohnstone.com, and I give treatments over Skype, so you can connect with me in that way. Bye.